probate, it's a petition to have the court declare it no longer belongs to the trust, but belongs to you.
Okay. What is those going to send?
And they say, oh, look, we have everything we need, and they go and they close the loan, and they don't record everything. I have that.
It is now
Where there's actually possession of
5 minutes to 7. We still don't have a quorum.
So my ex-wife, you know,
How many years?
10 years, 2006. So she's worried about a lot of things that, in hindsight, are not unreasonable. So, you know, in the big picture, you know, one thing is that she's worried about, when I told her the tax limit. But the second is that she's so proclaimed down, you know, the name of the trust. She's not even sure if she signed papers saying that the trust was dissolved, the trust may not be there, and she'll perjure herself by saying that.
It's not under penalty of perjury, it's just a deed. There's no penalty of perjury on it. And they can see, we cite right on it, this deed is to return the property to the grantor as a result of the termination of the trust, and the court order made in case number such and such. And you could actually go ahead and record the court order in with it, if it hasn't been recorded already. Enforcing the court order, the board should decide that stuff too.
Yeah.
Get that, she gets this. And tell her to sign it, then we can go after the returns. Because I think the family law court has jurisdiction to enforce it too. It usually says it retains jurisdiction.
I want to go whatever is the cheapest route.
Well, I don't know. Family law is very expensive.
Sorry?
Family law is very expensive. There's a job company that's been in trouble with for 5 years, you've had sole title. And 5 years is pretty absolute too.
10 years I've had sole title. And on the county, I'm still a sole title. That's why I would never have known, you know.
Yeah, the 10 years might end up being a problem because the attorney clause is the first court order might be a problem. Take a look at the action rate. And the title company would pay property taxes for over 5 years. That makes the title actually also this reason that they should be in trouble because.
So I've been paying property taxes for over 5 years.
So if you try to reuse the same title company that did the last refinance, not the one that right after divorce, but the one you said it was a 1920, right? There's another one, right?
Well, that's a good idea.
You go to that one, since they insured the current lender, right, you're going to a new lender, right? So they insured the last lender, so we'll ask them to insure for the new lender, because they're on the hook for the old lender. You say, well, you guys don't think I have insurance, then I'm just gonna stop paying for it. And now they're on the hook.
Well, this is Quicker Loans, and that's their own title company. So, yeah. Are these kind of things common, you know, things that go forward?
The one thing I find often that isn't recorded is the death certificate to show that there's a successor trustee. So the last trustee, for example, she left the property to the kids, and then now the kids are trustees, and the kids sign the deed, that's the successor trustee. The next person. Okay. Ready your food.
No, this isn't that situation. This is.
One of the different kinds of pizza, water.
And usually they always get trouble with the transaction.
No, I'm not. I'm not watching anything. You can watch it, but I'm not. Still camera?
Yeah, but it does video.
It's
quiet. It doesn't matter. Except when it shuts down after the battery goes dead. It is on. So smile pretty for the camera.
Why do you have it on before the meeting starts?
The meeting start time is 6:30. I turned the camera on at 6:30. It's now
No, I
7:29. We
understand.
should have been declared without a quorum over 15 minutes ago.
There is no requirement that it be called, first off. Second off, I do take exception to being filmed before the meeting. We don't have a choice now.
Jeffrey, the time that the meeting is supposed to start is the time when my public right to begin recording.
No, that is incorrect. That is incorrect. No, because you're pissing me off now. Hold on a second.
Be pissed off, but talk to the DA or the city attorney before you get pissed off.
I don't give you permission to film me or to video me before this meeting. You have a right to film the meetings. And the meetings start when the chair says it starts, not when you say it starts.
All right, let's get started.
Bullshit.
Well, talk, like I said.
We now have a quorum.
You can talk to the city attorney.
It's all
and ask
right,
him.
don't apologize, we have a quorum. So we wait till 7, we got 7, so let's, just don't have to play.
Yeah, that's quite tight, you can always get a court order, but you don't have to go there. But yeah.
Just now, just call it order. All right, so I'm calling to order the special meeting, Granada Hills South Neighborhood Council. This is a special meeting specifically to address bylaws changes. And we are going to start with the roll call. Julie?
Dave Bouvet,
I'm here.
Mike Benedetto,
Here.
Jeffrey Gore,
Yep.
Bonnie Burst here, Julie Carson here, Jet Dunlap, Don Graham, Justin Kim,
Excused.
Sally Kolstad,
Here, sorry I'm late.
okay, Don Lopez, here, Darren Lopez,
Here.
Joe Lyle, Anthony Matthews,
Joel is excused, I'm sorry.
Anthony has
If I was just saying my dramatic hair, I'm going to tell you if we were
Mark Morris,
Here.
Brandon Schindelheim,
Excused.
Brad Smith, Renee Trinidad,
Excused.
Andrew Wall,
Here.
Cindy Wu Friedman. Okay, can I check with you, was Justin Kim excused, right?
Yes, he was excused.
Okay, and, oh, I mean, Jet and Don.
No.
Okay, so hang on. We have 11, so we have a quorum.
Very good, thank you very much. Let me make one observation here. I don't know if anyone has noticed, but we have 2 front pages. Okay? Aha, so nobody noticed, right? So the mystery to this is our printers, Carter House, have been gone since about March 1st. So I had the agendas printed up well in advance, actually with our last meeting agenda. And then when I reviewed it before posting it, I noticed that it said May 16th. So we posted it with the correct date, and I reprinted the front page to show the correct date.
Does that subject us to any kind of complaint with Dunn?
No, why would it? As long as it was posted properly.
No. You know what it takes, to file a complaint.
So, anyway, that explains the mystery there, if there was one. Let's go to public comment. Mr. Manster is first, Mr. Kuzman is second.
Is this non-agenda?
I'm sorry?
This public comment, non-agenda, right?
Non-agenda items, yes.
Yes. One of the quick things I didn't see here, the striking of the membership.
Wait a minute. We're on non-agenda items, not the bylaws. Okay? You want to, and I will say, there may be some additional items we take up in April. So
Okay.
if there are other items that we didn't get on here,
Okay.
we do intend to put a couple additional items in the April agenda. So you can bring that up.
Okay.
And let us know if we forgot something. Mr. Kuzman?
Thanks for bringing that up, Eric. It's one of the things I talked about, I think, 2 months ago or last month, was one of the things that had already been approved that needed to get incorporated. The only thing I'm going to say, and then I'm going to shut up, I'm going to leave, I'm going to let you guys do your work. The camera will remain on. While you do have 11, you do have 1 member here tonight that has not completed their ethics training according to the most recent done thing that's come out, and they are ineligible to vote.
And that is who?
Sally Colstaff.
I've done mine, I gave it.
If you look at the website, if you look at
Website is
the...
on-
Hold on.
This is not a time to argue.
Hold on.
Excuse me.
Hold on.
I said, if you look at the monthly profile for the Granada Hills South Neighborhood Council, which is issued by the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, and part of it is to let the board know who has completed and who has not completed the required trainings. I mean, I've said this to you 3 months ago, that you still had a board member that hadn't complied. You asked me for the name, I said no. You said you knew who it was. It's still not completed on the Dun website and not on the.
This is why the secretary is also tracking it.
I'm just saying,
Thank
for the
you.
record.
You said it.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, so, any other public comment? Okay, no other public comment, we're gonna move on to the board issues, which is discussion and possible board action of several sections of the bylaws. What I'm going to do here is to read the section. I'm going to open it up to public comment first, and then to board comment. And I'm not going to ask for in favor or not in favor. Anybody that has a comment in any direction can speak on this. And we will then write down specific language for the section, if it doesn't already contain something that flows. All right, so Article 5 is the governing board, Section 1, and this is the first of two options. One, reduce the current board to 11 special seats, and 10 at-large seats to 16 at-large seat and 1 community interest at-large seat for a total of 17. We also have an option 2, but we'll deal with that separately. So I'm going to open up for public comment to start. No? All right, board comment. I'm going to just go from left to right. Bonnie, anybody have board comment on this?
Well, I think it's hard to comment when you haven't done number 2. I think I like combining it with option 2 instead.
Okay. Well, I did it just to make it clear that, you know, we have two options here. One, just to make it all at large, or second option, simply to have still retain some special interest seats. Any other comment? Well, I don't see any hands up. I just, Darren?
We're reducing the current board members and then just having 10 at large to 16 at large. I mean, having these special interest seats, I mean, basically it's just a title. Each board member can do whatever they want. We're not a special interest to the board. So I mean, just having 16 at large seats and 1 community interest, I think should be sufficient.
I'm in favor of making all positions at large. However, I think we should retain many of the seats. The reason being is, as most of you know, I'm a realtor, and one of the things that we're taught in real estate is that you need to brand yourself to make yourself known. Although it doesn't mean a lot to us, but when you go to a stakeholder or an organization and you hand them your business card and it says faith-based, it gives some credibility to your posture.
Michael, I was confused. It sounded like you said both, you argued both things, that you were for all member at large seats, but you wanted to maintain some special interest.
Correct.
Those are two different things to me.
Well,
You mean,
if Bonnie combined the two, I can too.
well, no, I mean, it sounds like you were saying
She's saying that you're in favor for both
yes.
having.
To speak with fourth tongue, I think is what she's trying to say.
Okay, Tom's go.
Mark?
You're really for number 2, is that what you're saying?
Hey, let the record show that Cindy moves down there.
It's a slight combination of the two, but yes, more so maybe 2.
Go ahead. I'm just wondering.
Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, in spirit, I agree with Mike, but I think the way that we can go about arriving at that is, rather than this mixed up voting kind of the way that we do it, is any of the at-large seats could volunteer to take on a specialized seat or be appointed to a specialized seat and whether they were voted into it.
That's option 2.
It's an option 3.
No,
I
no,
know.
that-
Okay, I can get that for it.
I believe there's.
All right, so what, before we go any further, let's read option B then, so that you understand what the two options that are being offered here. Option 2 is to combine the special interest seats to 5, increase the at-large seats from 10 to 12, and keep the one community interest at-large seat for a total of 17. The following seats would be combined into one seat. The community interest seat would be combined with the faith-based and cultural and arts seats. The business seat would be combined with the commercial property seat. The education seat would be combined with the student and youth activities seat. The senior seat would be eliminated. The homeowners and renters seat would be kept as is. If option 2 is adopted, we would have to amend attachment B, which is the very back of the bylaws. The governing board structure and voting as follows. We would combine the definitions for seats in accordance with the above, allow all stakeholders to vote for each position on the board, including the special seats, and then add language to convert any special seat that is not filled by election to an at-large seat for that term. A seat to be filled by an at-large candidate with the next highest vote count who did not win the election. In other words, if you had 11 at-large seats, or 12 at-large seats, the 13th person, if we had 13 people running, would then go into that special seat that turned into at-large. If there is no candidate, if there is no such candidate, in other words, if you had less than that number, then you would fill the seat by appointment as per our bylaws now. This language would be inserted immediately after the director definitions in Article 5.1. Okay, so does everyone understand the two options here?
You got a hand up.
Julie?
Yes, for me, the most important thing is stakeholders being able to vote for everybody and to eliminate only allowing someone who has like commercial property interest voting for the commercial property interest person, because then we only get like 1 or 2 votes. My analogy is just like often in our elections, we vote for judges, but we don't let just judges vote for judges. The whole community gets to vote for them. So whichever option we choose, that's the most important critical thing for me, is to try to expand participation in the neighborhood council and not be so restrictive when it comes to elections. So that's the most important thing. I know when we had our first bylaws meeting, I was kind of swayed by you, Bonnie. I was first for the all members at large idea, and I'm fine with that. But I like the idea of special interest. But I also think what you're saying, Mark, I'm not sure, and maybe Mike too, is that once you get on the council, everyone has their own special interest, and you can represent that. That's what we have our committees for. I mean, if we found we needed, there's a particular issue with youth or with seniors, we can always create a committee, right, to deal with those issues and take them on. So I think if we had the total members at large, we could still service those specific needs within the committee.
Yes?
I think I'm in agreement with that. Just personally speaking, I think option number 1 is easier. I think it's more inclusive. I think it gets rid of some of the politicking that's sure to happen if there are special seats. I just think it's the way to go.
Anyone else?
I'll just say one thing, because I don't have a problem with either one of them, but I will say that I remember when we were forming this, because I was in the bylaws formation, at that time, they had everybody, all the neighborhood councils were doing all these different seats. And the point was to have diversity. At the time, we were supposed to also be advisory to like the city council, the people on the city council, which at that time was Burnson, was saying, well, I'm not going to listen to the neighborhood council. All it is a whole bunch of homeowners. And so there was like a lot of thought that they needed to make sure that there were, that at the end, your neighborhood council doesn't just count 17 in this case, or 21, ends up with 21 homeowners who only think in terms of what homeowners want, because it might be that some of them are spiritual and some of them are this or that, but there still is a very different mindset for people who live in the community and what might go in there versus people who only work in the community, or people who are growing a business in the community, or people who are landlords in the community. It's a very different mindset. So if you end up with 17 homeowners, which is very possible, you know, then is it going to represent the diverse interests of different things in the community?
Okay, everybody gets 2 shots. You got your second.
I understand that, and that's why I would recommend hanging on to what I
Okay, anyone else? I think we're ready to vote.
No, we have one more.
Oh, I'm sorry, Cindy, go ahead.
Well, I don't know how this works, but I love to see, I'm okay with the way it's proposing, but I just, I would love to keep the students. I know sometimes we have a really hard time doing it, but I would love to keep, so I would love to see 15 at large, 1 community interest at large, and 1 student.
Actually, we've never had a problem. We've always had a school candidate for the students.
Oh, okay, then we're good.
Yeah, so it's actually been rendered, so it's anything hard to see. All right, I think we're ready. One more hands. Yes, one more comment. Your second and last.
Okay, so I'm in favor of B for the most part, except I just feel that as far as the community interest, combining cultural arts and faith-based might be just too much for that 1 seat. I think we should keep faith-based separate, especially when you consider we're going to be doing a lot of other stuff with the churches and possibly introducing pads and a few other things.
Okay, so let's vote on the first one first, and we can, if that goes down in flames, then we can talk a little more about the second option. All right, on option 1, all those in favor?
Can I do a roll?
You have to do a roll, yeah, okay, do it.
Okay, so this is for option 1.
For option 1, which would be just 16 at large and 1 community interest at large, for a total of 17.
Okay, Dave Bouvet,
Yes.
Mike Benedetto,
Yes.
Jeffrey Blower,
Go on, Jeff, I'm gonna say yes.
No.
That's a conflict of interest.
Bonnie Burst,
No,
Julie Carson, yes. Sally Colston,
Yes.
Don Lopez,
No.
Darren Lopez,
Yes.
I don't do divorces, guys.
Right.
Anthony Matthews,
Yes.
Mark Morris,
Yes.
Andrew Wall,
No.
Cindy Wu Freeman.
Yeah. Mark.
You said yes. Okay.
I was thinking sustaining, but really it's
So it's 8 to 4. 8.
8 to 4, all right, so the motion carries, and we will adjust the bylaws to 16 and 1, all at large. And so we do not need to go to option B, we can move on to the other parts of the proposed bylaws. All right? Section 2, quorum. If option 1 or 2 above is selected, we need to change the quorum to 9 of 17 directors. Any public comment on this? I mean, I think it's probably self-evident, but pretty much.
Yeah, I don't think it needs
So
prolonged discussions.
Okay, good.
I only wanted to hear my own voice.
Shut it, yeah, we know.
Okay, so
Wait,
clarify.
one comment?
All right, you may.
Well,
Now,
I
board
do,
comment.
I do just want to point out that there is a little bit of mathematics in here, that the reason we went from 21 to 17 and not to 19 or 15 is that if you have 19 people on the board, then a quorum is 10, and therefore you have 10 people in a, you can get 10 people in a room, and then you can have a split vote. So if you go with 17, the quorum is 9, and then half of that is 5 for the number of people that don't have to hang around together. And that's how that works.
Well, the speed test.
Yeah, no, so I was just saying, there's a specific
This is
reason
the
why you would
test.
want to make it 17, so it wasn't just,
Any other board comment?
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
confused.
yes, Carson,
I'm confused.
you confused?
Yes, because are we talking about C right now?
No, D.
No, D.
Section D. Section C is no longer, it's moot because we adopted option one.
Okay.
Right.
Got it.
That is Caesar.
So section D, which is,
Okay, then I'm still confused.
okay,
Where are we saying, is there any language in here that says, oh, because they're at large, so everybody gets to vote?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
okay, so section 2 would just change the number from 11 to 9 and from 21 to 17. That's the only actual change. Any other board comment? All right, hearing none, I think we're ready for roll call vote when you are, Julie.
Okay, all right, I was behind, so,
Take your time.
yeah, so who made the board comment on this and what was it?
It was Anthony Matthews, and he made the observation that bringing it down to 17 means you have an odd number for a quorum,
Oh,
so that if you have a bare quorum, you'll at least be able to do business. Of course, if you have one plus a quorum, you're still in the same problem.
Isn't it just automatic? If we had 17 statements.
There still has to be an.
Still has to be in writing.
It
All right,
is, but-
Julie, are you ready?
yeah, so,
Okay.
this is for
This is for,
4D.
Of D, right.
yeah,
All right, so Dave Bouvet,
yes,
Mike Benedetto,
Yes.
Jeffrey Gore,
Yes.
Bonnie Burst,
Yes.
Julie Carson, yes. Sally Colstead?
Yes.
Don Lopez?
Yes.
Darren Lopez?
Yes.
Anthony Matthews?
yes,
Mark Morris?
Yes.
Andrew Wall?
Yes.
And Cindy Lou Freeman?
Yes.
So it's unanimous.
thank you. All right, let's go to section 10, resignation.
Sure. Should have it.
I just had to get it in the right order. Okay, section 10, resignation.
Yes, it is. Section 10 has nothing on there. Right now, it's intentionally left blank. Under E, there you go. On the, where are you? Here. Hold on. Dave?
Oh, I'm on the wrong section, okay.
Page 6. Page 7.
Page 7, okay. I'm about 2 of it. Thank you, got it.
You're welcome.
Okay, so
Simple.
resignation, section 10, it's now just says intentionally left blank.
Blank.
Blank, yeah.
Not black.
Not black. So, and this language is in quotes, so this is the way the language would read. Resignation should be made in writing or effective upon receipt by the board of directors. Any comment at public? Okay, board comment.
Not really sure that that's what we decided in committee.
and that's absolutely not what we decided we can. Well, we did this 24 hours.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, well, we can amend.
And also, the board of directors who needs to be shorn up. Anyone, any member of the board, or I thought we had discussed that it had to go to the president of the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
All right,
this is.
so amend the language.
All right, so resignation, do I have to make a motion to amend it, or do I
Yes.
talk about it first? Okay,
No, make a motion first.
Make a motion to amend.
Speak
Can
slowly.
I dictate the
Made.
motion? Can I dictate this one?
What's that?
I said, Jeff, do you want me to dictate the motion
Yes.
to amend? Okay, here's the motion to amend.
Okay.
Yes.
The motion to amend to resignation shall be effective.
Wait,
Hold on, very slowly.
See, I told you you're going too fast.
Resignation shall be made in writing. Resignation should be made in writing.
shall be.
Shall be. Well, it says
Made in
should be
writing.
here, but shall be made in writing, and are effective within 24 hours of receipt by the president, unless withdrawn in the meantime.
Can I have that again?
No,
That's
Julie's
what
got
was
it.
exactly what we.
Well, I don't know if Julie's got it finished yet.
Yeah, I got it.
Can we have that again? Ask the court reporter to
Yeah.
read back the.
Let's see, resignations shall be made in writing and are effective within 24 hours of receipt by the board president, unless withdrawn in the meantime.
Everybody got that?
Yeah, I like that.
Public comment on the amendment?
Then it goes-
Eric?
Yeah,
Okay, hold on.
I think it's, you know, if you're talking about the board of directors, I would assume that that would be at the next meeting.
No, we're not
Board.
talking about the board, we're changing it now to just the board
Board
president.
member.
So the idea of this is this, okay, you know, Mark gets really upset with something and he writes to Dave, I'm quitting, or Dave's got 24 hours to talk to him and say, listen, Mark, you know, you want to think about this. And then 24 hours later, if Mark has not, you know, decided to proceed, then he's resigned.
I see that, but what I'm saying is, it's usually announced at the next board meeting
Oh, it
that
could
the
be-
person is no longer on the board.
Then it will be
because they
announced.
It
resigned.
should be announced. That has
So
nothing to
that's
do
why
with-
I would think that it should still say, on receipt by the board of directors. I think that's when it's confirmed to the board of directors at the next open meeting. That to me makes more sense.
But that was,
We didn't do it that way, and I stand on that because there's a month between meetings.
Yeah.
Someone
True.
wants to resign, let them resign, it's effective immediately, that's all there is to
24
it.
hours.
That's true. All I'm saying is, it's going to be announced at the next meeting anyway, so that's when it should come into full effect, at the very next meeting.
no,
Well,
All right, okay, well, look, we're not gonna debate.
I'm just giving my opinion from.
Yes, and we got it. So.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
And we like-
Any other board comments, starting with Bonnie?
Well, I was just saying, I like it as amended, and the point was, is since if somebody wants to resign and in 24 hours expires, they're just not on the board anymore. We don't need anybody to approve it, they're just not on the board. That means that the next board meeting, there's no absentee board member because he's not on the board.
Great.
Right. Cindy?
And then, you know, I think it would be great to also add the language with that, because let's just say the 24 hour passes by, it would be great for the president to send an email to the whole board, letting us know, blah, 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 and so.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about 24
So,
hours.
I mean,
No,
so
that's the
I like
amendment.
the language that Anthony put, and, you know, I like that idea, the 24-hour thing become effective 24 hours after, and then I will also put a stipulation on here that the president, after 24 hours, maybe the president has 3 days or 7 days, to notify the entire board.
Okay, so, but we have to pass this motion before we can offer
Well,
another.
can I amend
You
it?
can if this is passed.
No, I can
You
amend
can
it.
amend an
We vote on
amendment.
this one, and then
We have to pass this one, then we will have an amended motion, which you may then amend a second time.
So with the motion we're making now
Hold on,
is we're making a motion to,
Anthony's
I'm
motion.
offering the amendment.
Oh, yeah, would
These
you
are-
make a friendly amendment, my friend?
Would I make a friendly amendment?
Yeah.
No. Look, we're not gonna do friendly amendments, okay? Hold on. Here's the way it works, guys. We have an amendment to the motion.
Okay.
If we pass the amended motion, then it's right for a second amendment,
Okay.
okay? If we don't pass the amended motion, then you may amend the original motion.
I disagree with you. Because I don't think, once it's passed, then it's the motion, I think you're amending.
But you have to vote on the amended motion
Yeah.
a second time. And that's the
Well, what
reason
is it
in Robert's rules that you have to not only pass,
I see you mean to make it the main motion.
then it becomes the main motion, then you may amend it again.
Got it.
Anybody else? Okay. Yes, Don?
How do you resign now?
There's nothing in
You
here.
just don't read.
There's
You
nothing
just
in here.
quit.
What we've done by
You just
past
say,
practice,
I mean, anymore, you can't.
No,
what we've done by past practice is ask for a written resignation, and we've always gotten it.
Okay.
Yeah, but all you do is have this meeting, you can be voted on.
Well,
That's true.
And that's the point, that's what you raised, what happens, you know, if someone doesn't submit it in writing? Well, then it goes from the resignation section to the removal section.
That's different.
Okay. Are we ready to vote on this? As amended? Julie, will you read back the amended motion one more time, please?
Resignations shall be made in writing and are effective within 24 hours of receipt by the board president unless withdrawn in the meantime.
This is the amendment to the motion. All those, are you ready for roll call, Julie?
Did I made the motion, who's seconding the motion?
Oh, I second.
Who did?
Ms. Morris?
Okay, so, all right, so now we're voting on
On the amendment to the motion.
okay, Dave Bavay?
Yes.
Mike Benedetto?
Yes.
Jeffrey Gore?
Yes.
Bonnie Burke? Julie Carson, yes. Sally Colstead?
Yes.
Don Lopez?
Yes.
Darren Lopez?
Yes.
Anthony Matthews?
Yes.
Mark Morris?
Yes.
Andy Wall?
Yes.
Cindy Lou Freeman? Yes. Unanimous?
All right, now, we have to vote on the motion as amended, and this is the point where you can amend the motion as amended if you wish. So,
Yes.
you want to offer an amendment to the motion as amended,
Yes.
okay? Which is what?
He's gonna do it, because he already said he already.
What did you want?
Okay,
You wanted Dave to email the whole board within 24 hours after the
I'll
first.
give him
3
36.
days. 3 days, is that 3 days is good or 5 days?
3.
3. Okay.
I don't want,
72 hours.
I don't want him
I
sitting on
want
his
hours.
laurels doing nothing.
Drastic. So 3 days, so I like to, okay, so I
Well,
like
we do
to.
it days out of town.
You just want to add a sentence, and you
Yes.
want to add a sentence to the existing motion that
Yes.
says, board president shall notify the board of the resignation within 72 hours after it becomes effective.
Perfect.
all right, so Anthony, you're going to have to repeat that for Julie.
Okay, we're adding a sentence. The sentence is board president.
Hold on, doesn't someone have to, isn't that open?
Use the second.
We are second.
No, I'm just having you get it down in writing first, then we'll talk about it.
All right.
So the motion's by Cindy, it's seconded by Anthony, right? And Anthony's going to repeat it.
I'm going to repeat it. Board president
Mm-hmm.
shall notify
Yes. I
the
got it.
board
Yes.
by email within 72 hours
Okay.
after the resignation becomes effective.
Now, could we make that by email or Twitter, because I'm on Twitter.
Twitter,
Are you doing your homework then?
No.
Hashtag
Like- Okay, Judy, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. No, public comment first, Eric? Anything?
I don't mind it at all, but it should be something to add to that, which is to announce it to the public, because the public should be aware that.
It'll get announced at the next meeting as long as I'm president. That should be a no-brainer. Okay, comment, starting with Sally, then Bonnie.
Okay, what do you say? You're the president, and how much time do you?
I'm fine with it as president, and if I'm going to go to Bora Bora or I have no email,
Okay.
I will designate before I leave that I'm going to Bora Bora and Mike's in charge.
No, I just want to make sure that that's,
Simple.
I want to make sure that you felt that that was
I-
enough time.
You can make it any time you want it. I mean, what's the violation if I don't do it? You gonna kick me out? Okay. So,
Well,
Bonnie?
actually, my comment is, I don't think we need to burden the bylaws with little nitty gritty things that you
Yes.
shall
Yes.
do
Yes,
this.
that's my-
I
Yeah.
think it's a burden, I don't think it, I just think it, but it's the bylaws, you know, if you wanna do it, you can do it, but I don't think it should be in the bylaws that you shall.
Okay, Don, do you have any more to add to
I agree
it?
with what Bonnie said.
Okay, what Bonnie
You
said.
have enough.
What Bonnie said.
Maker of the motion.
Yes, so I think it's important to have it on there because in the past, people resigned and we really didn't know for like 2 months sometimes. So I think it's important because, and also I think since we're dealing with the bylaws, not only looking at, obviously Dave will be really good about that, but you don't know who the future leaders are. And so it really needs to be in there because maybe it could just be an oversight. But because having it in there is really making sure that we're really, we really have a communication to everyone. Because, you know, let's just say 5 years from now or 3 years from now, it's not Dave. And whoever is like, oh, I resigned, okay, great, I'm just gonna wait until the next meeting. So I think it's important for everyone to know as soon as possible.
Mr. Morris.
That's why I think that how this really should be is that it would say and will be announced. announce at the next.
Yes,
board
I think
meeting.
that should be-
Rather than it being incumbent on the president to have to email everyone.
Yeah. Anyone else? Mr.
But if
Benedetto?
we make it official and everybody's notified, then before the next board meeting, we can look for a new member.
Right, yes. And I
Okay,
don't
you're
know
second
how-
and last time, go ahead.
Yeah. And I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm also, be happy also to adding the word that will also be announced at the next meeting, so that way the public knows we're addressing, the thing, because I don't think it's on there anywhere right now. So at this point, let's just say it's not you, 3 years from now, the leaders is there, so they're actually.
Let's
sending
not
out-
get bogged down. I'll just say this, if there's a resignation, it should be placed on the next agenda, just as an information item.
Yeah.
Anything else? It could just be done as an announcement. And I think anybody that's president of neighborhood council would have enough common sense to know that that's the proper thing to do. Well, maybe not everyone that's, but almost. I should never speak in absolutes, right?
And what if my account was hacked and somebody said you
I was thinking,
Something
is that gonna go
Julie?
on Fox or CNN?
I think we're ready for a vote on this as amended.
Okay, so the amendment is, I'm gonna read both things.
Okay?
Okay. Resignation shall be made in writing and are effective within 24 hours of receipt by the board president unless withdrawn. In the meantime, and the amendment from Cindy and Anthony is board president shall notify the board by email within 72 hours after the resignation becomes effective.
Okay, so we're voting on the amendment to the amended motion, which is the second sentence.
I have a question.
Everybody got that?
The first word, it was effective in 24 hours, right? Not
Yes.
within, but in 24 hours. right?
Within.
I think it said within.
Within, it's effective within
It should be,
24 hours?
you're
And that
right.
means- I think
You're
it's
right.
within.
It should be.
It should be in, because that's precise.
Yeah,
It should be effective in 24
Yeah,
hours,
and
you're
I missed
right.
that before.
I think
apologize.
grammatically it should
I
be.
have a point of
Sorry.
clarification.
Okay.
If we vote this down, then does it go back to the one without Cindy's
Yes.
amendment?
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm.
Is everyone clear on that?
So we're on the amendment only. If it passes, then we will vote on the entire amended motion. Got it, everybody? Okay.
And if not, we go back to the other one.
And if not, we go back and vote to the first sentence only.
Okay.
So
Okay.
all the board members will get that word,
Dave Babay.
Abstain.
What?
Yeah.
Mike Benedetto.
Yes.
Jeffrey Bohr.
Yes.
Bonnie Burst.
No.
Julie Carson, no. Sally Kolstad.
No.
Don Lopez.
No.
Darren Lopez.
No.
Anthony Matthews.
Yes.
Mark Morris.
Yes.
Andrew Wall.
Yes.
Cindy Lou Freeman.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 5, 1, so it passes. Because abstentions count as a yes.
So far. Okay. All right, so that motion passes. We now have a main motion that consists of both sentences. And Julie will read both sentences back one more time, please.
Okay, hang on a second.
You bet.
For E.
You can't.
And then I'm gonna ask for a real simple amendment. It should be in, not within.
Can we correct a typo?
I think we can correct the grammar without.
We
Yeah,
correct
we
the
don't
grammar
need-
right now.
Yes.
It should be, it should say, and is effective in 24 hours.
Because within would imply it
Because
could
within
be
would
less.
imply it is-
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but it says, the amendment says, board president shall notify the board by email within 72 hours after
No,
the
the
That's
first
a-
sentence.
That's
The first
okay,
one.
the first sentence.
Did the first
First
one?
one.
Does the first sentence say within or in?
Yeah, within.
So let's,
That's in.
let's make it in. Grammatically, that's how
Yeah,
it has
that's
to work.
a grammatical fix.
All right, so you want me to read the whole thing again?
Yes, please, Dave.
Resignation shall be made in writing and are effective in 24 hours of receipt by the board president unless withdrawn in the meantime. Board president shall notify the board by email within 72 hours after the resignation becomes effective.
That is nice.
Okay, so that's the amended motion. That now becomes the main motion. I'll entertain any further discussion before we vote on it.
Even second.
No, the second, the original motion was made in second, we don't need another second. It doesn't matter, the amendment had a first and second also. Okay? All right. I think we're ready for the vote, Julie.
Okay,
when you're
Dave
ready.
Bobay,
Yes.
Mike Benedetto,
Yes?
Jeffrey Bowler,
Staying.
Bonnie Burst,
Yes.
Julie Carson, yes. Sally Kolstad?
Yes.
Don Lopez,
Yes.
Darren Lopez,
Yes.
Anthony Matthews,
Yes.
Mark Morris,
Yes.
Andrew Wall,
Yes.
and Cindy Lou Freeman.
Yes.
So it passes, 10
We have one abstention, 11, what is one abstention? Is that it?
yeah,
Okay.
10-0-1.
Okay. All right, so the last one here is Article 7, committees and their duties. I will just preface this by saying the last term, the Bylaws Committee, chaired by Mr. Mansker, who's here tonight, passed a number of language changes in Article 7, which define the committees. And those changes were approved by the previous board. So this motion is to reaffirm the April 3, 2015 bylaw changes by the previous board and make them part of these recommendations. In other words, we're just taking that language and adopting it from the previous board.
Is, point of order, is that necessary since the board has already approved it?
Well, you know what, I'm not sure if it's necessary, but I would hate to send these in and then have Dunn send them back saying you've got to approve them. So this is,
I think they're already approved though.
I think the problem is we approved it and Dunn never put it in, that they never approved it. So I think this is to make sure that the whole thing is there.
well, not only that, but I think this board has to approve the bylaw changes.
All right.
I don't think, once the previous board has expired, I don't believe their actions are valid or can be accepted by Dunn any longer. So
Fine.
that's why.
For public comment.
Public comment? Yes, sir.
Yeah, my problem with Dunn has always been their staffing problem. And you got 96 neighborhood councils, and they all submit their changes at the same time. They've got deadlines for 3 meetings. What happens is, a lot of times, they will miss some neighborhood council changes, and like, we've been trying to get rid of membership forever. And each time we send it in and we say, oh, you know, strike membership, they send it back, but membership's still there.
Eric, what does that have to do with this?
All I'm saying, those are bylaws changes that Dunn itself overlooked, and then it comes back to us, and then we gotta do it over again.
Okay, but we don't have to do it over again. All
All
we
I'm
have to
saying
do is
is,
say
let's
Approve it.
what you guys did and we approve it. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
basically.
all.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, board comment on any of this? Going once, going twice. I see no board comment. Julie, I think we can adopt it as is, if you want to do a roll call.
Yeah. Dave Bobay,
Yes.
Mike Benedetto,
Yes.
Jeffrey Bowler,
Yes.
Bonnie Burst,
Yes.
Julie Carson, yes. Sally.
Hold on,
Hold on, wait
before you
one
go,
second.
Julie, I think Jeffrey raised a point of order. We don't have a first and a second. I moved it. Is there a second?
Second.
And Jeffrey's second.
All right, now we can.
Now we can take a vote. Let's go back.
Who was it?
Myself and
Dave and Jeff.
Dave, I just have a quick question. Is that the discussion of the committee and their duties, is that on any of the paper here or?
No, I should have, well, it's actually in the bylaws. No, it's not in the bylaws, but basically, if you go to the, those minutes, it's reflected in the minutes from April 3rd, 2015. Ready when you are, Julie.
Ready? Take a vote?
Yeah, Dave Bobay,
Yes.
Mike Benedetto,
Yes.
Jeffrey Bowler,
Yes.
Bonnie Burst,
Yes.
Julie Carson, yes. Sally Kolstad,
Yes.
Don Lopez,
Yes.
Darren Lopez,
Yes.
Anthony Matthews,
Yes.
Mark Morris,
Yes.
Andrew Wall,
Yes.
Cindy Lou Freeman.
Abstain.
So that's 10-0-1, so it passes. But,
Yeah, Julie? Or
yeah,
are we short
but,
one?
I'm just checking to see if we have moved and seconded on the other things we voted for.
You know,
Yes.
no, I'm not sure
Unless
we
you-
did.
I think-
I'm
Yeah,
not sure
I
we
was-
did either.
Okay, let's move
Wanna go
back.
back?
Yeah, let's move back and make sure. I don't want this to be,
Considering we're on film.
yeah.
I don't have any note to that effect for A, for the one where we voted for all member of the
Okay.
Okay.
Then fine.
I'm moving that into, Mr. Chair, I'm moving all of these into,
No, you gotta do them separately.
no, you do have to do them separately, but, you know, as chair, I'm making the motion.
Second.
Okay, and second by Mr. Moore.
right?
We did not have to vote on option 2. We did not have to vote on C.
Right.
We went to D. You have, who made the motion?
No.
Do we recall who made the motion on the quorum?
Aaron, second.
D.
Oh, I didn't make the.
David.
Yes.
Yeah, you did second.
If you need somebody to make that motion, I will make a motion.
And I'll second.
All right, let the minutes reflect that the maker of that motion was Mr.
Yeah, because I didn't.
Matthews.
Yeah, I didn't get it down for the.
Okay, and the second was Mr. Moore.
Okay. And then I have it for E.
Yeah.
That was all.
And
the
then we just did F.
So I have that one.
Okay.
And I have F.
All right.
Okay, so if there's any question, we should clear that up. Now, there were a couple things that had been discussed or submitted by people as possible changes. However, as I mentioned earlier, I had this copied very early, and our printer is on vacation till the 30th of this month. So I was loath to send out an amendment and then have to redo these agendas again. It was hard enough just doing the first page, frankly. I think I've run through a whole Excel extra. So, but let's talk just a moment before we adjourn about any other changes that we may want to make for the April meeting. And then we're going to need to get this in before May 1st, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start with Mark, then you, Jeffrey.
For the sake of wording, do we need to re-examine the word, which gets into what people, what the stakeholders need to show when voting, especially section 2, it says, stakeholders may vote for board seats as noted in attachment B.
Well, and that's-
Attachment B was.
Attachment B will have to be revised now that we're all at large, that's all.
So, but do we need to put that in?
Well, that'll be in the agenda for next month.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
good.
why would it be in the agenda? I mean, attachment B will be changed, that's all. Attachment B just lists the board seats. So we'll have to change it, the board seats from the 10 special, or the 11 special, and the 10 regular board seats to 16 at-large, and 1 at-large community interest, and then by definition, everyone will be able to vote for those. That's already in our bylaws. Go.
Didn't make it onto the agenda this time, but we had discussed about changing our rules on abstentions. Abstentions are going to really be abstentions.
I know we said.
I'd like to abstain from voting.
Okay, so we would take that, what section is that, Jeffrey, if you recall?
I don't think I don't even think.
It's not in there.
No, it's not.
I thought somebody said it was in here, and that's why we had the opportunity
No,
to
I don't
change
think it was there.
I can explain.
You may.
Yes.
When you were required to submit the election stipulations for the 2016 board elections, no one from this board there was never on the agenda to go over it and approve them, so what went in was a default, and the default was that abstentions would count as yeses. Previously, the board had abstentions not counting as yeses.
I agree with that.
Okay, so we'll have to find the proper section and let's do some research on that and see where it will fit in, Jeffrey. Okay, all right. Anything else, Michael?
We also brought up, actually I have two of them. We also brought up that if someone was absent 3 times, consecutive times, without any reason, that the board may consider them removed.
3 consecutive unexcused absences, is that what I'm hearing?
Board can consider removing.
Actually, I think the language was 3 within a certain period of time. It didn't have to be consecutive, it could be,
Well, he's proposing some new language.
Oh, okay.
That's what he's doing.
okay, you're gonna
Three
make them
consecutive or what? How many in any 12-month period? I would say 5.
It should be without some kind of note, I mean,
See, we can't do that. I mean, we give out excused absences like water.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
so within.
3 in a row
You're
or
gonna
5
have to
out
come
of
back
12.
to the, within a certain period of time if you want to.
3, yeah, 5 out of 12. 5 out of 12 months.
Well, section 7,
We have
4 says,
yes.
any director fails to attend 6 board meetings in any period, or has 3 unexcused absences in a year.
Yeah,
we
we want to change the wording on that. That was what we discussed. So
So what do you want to change it to?
3 consecutive or 5 in any 12-month period.
4 or 5?
5 in any 12 months.
Yeah.
5 absences, period.
Period. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me.
No, there's no such thing as excused absence.
Correct.
Absence is an absence.
Okay,
What else?
what else, Chairman?
One more.
Yeah, go ahead.
No.
Let me formulate this for a second. The board may consider removal based on a 2/3 board majority based on violations of codes of ethics.
No, we decided not to do that in committee.
Yeah, but regardless, he can bring it up. if he wants.
Yeah, you can bring it up.
What section are we looking at?
Based on just cause.
Doesn't that come under code of conduct?